What's up, guys? It is your boy, the Wise Infinity, coming to you today with another live stream and video. I do not know how long this video is gonna be, because this is a 1 hour and 37-minute video.
Where people are like,
I did watch a little bit of it, and I was like, you know what? Let me just live react to this. So one thing I did search up, I wanted to search up more about Josh Menke to see if I'm forgetting anything. So this is from March 14th to 2016. So this is 10 years ago. This is the guy who pretty much, I want to say, is the main guy who created the skill matchmaking system for Riot's League of Legends, Valorant, and Wild Rift. Right, so my problems, and I'm gonna be watching the video a little bit before I start to talk about it.
And then for every little probability, you bin them. Let's say just, and that might sound complicated, but let's say just. Now another nice kind of aside about all this is it's kind of nice if you go ahead and make, and this is an example of actually some real data of like almost 2 million. Just really good engineering. There's a lot of really hard networking and plumbing problems that need to be solved depending on the size of your audience. And it could be big or small audience, sort of a long time. Like the holy grail would, hey, can I put a long-term monetary value on every possible match I'm going to make?
So one, put players into matches that are fun. This is obviously subjective. Have a planned experience with varying intensity. Easy, even, hard. So my idea of how they're doing it, because he does say it in this video, he says essentially make a new one. So to put it into perspective, there's like these would be like 5 players, right? Versus right, another 5 players, right? So what the system should be doing, if it's even, it should be doing this, right? But the problem with this is that it's much harder to find an even matchup than let's say an easy matchup, right? So what is the point of these numbers? The point of these numbers is that these numbers, they all go into a value. This is what I think they're doing. Maybe I was actually paying attention to the video completely, but there's a lot in this video. This video is 1 hour, right? So this is what an even matchup would look like. So they would get, from all elos, they would probably do this. You know, obviously, I don't know how easy it is to do this. They might get like maybe one player's a 6 and the other player's like a 4, which now makes it not that even. The problem with this is that now champions come into play. Does champion A beat champion B? And if they're both even, doesn't it just come down to, if they both have the same skill level, doesn't it just come down to like champion, right? Like if champion A is better than champion B, is it really even? Right? So things of these nature, people would say it's hard to determine these things, right? Which I would agree, it's very hard to determine. Right? Now let's say you get something, a mismatch, right? You're trying to get to the number 25, and I know I just started talking, right? This is what a match would look like if it's super uneven. It would be like this. Right? Let's say this is the challenger player. This guy right here, he's a challenger player. So to make this game hard, what they're going to do is 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, yeah. Just making sure that I did it correctly. To make sure this guy loses, they're going to make him fucking play an even 5, right? Now, this could be the support, this could be the mid laner, top laner, this could be literally anybody, right? Assuming it's from role top to jungle to mid to ADC to support, and it's doing that all the time, right? Once you start the queue, it's trying to determine what is, you know, the match. The match is gold. Once it knows it's gold, okay, find gold players. The code would be like, if true, find gold, yada yada, and boom, finds gold. Then it would determine hot streak, cold streak. Are you on a losing streak? Are you on a cold streak? Things like that. But that's probably irrelevant. That's probably completely irrelevant. The first thing it's probably looking is what your rank is, gold, and what your rating is. You're gold 1 with this rating. So your skill level, which entails gold, your CSing, your gold, your kills per minute. It's taking a bunch of analysis, right? This guy, when you just search him up, Josh Menke's career, is a seasoned game designer with 16 years of experience specialized in skill matchmaking and ranking system. He has worked in high-profile franchises such as Halo, Blizzard, and Call of Duty. Currently, he serves as a principal game designer at Riot Games, focusing on matchmaking projects for games like League of Legends, Valorant, and Wild Rift. His expertise includes leveraging machine learning. So he's trying to get the machine to learn what? About you. And statistical analysis. He's trying to make this thing accurate, right? To enhance game design and player engagement. That's the part where I would feel a little weirded out about. When you try to get player engagement, mind you, this is a $21 billion company. What is Riot's net worth? This is a $21 billion company. I searched it up the other day. Okay, Riot Games specifically is 21 billion. Yeah, Riot Platforms is 7. So they have, I guess, two. I guess they have like a 28 billion net worth. Right? This is a big company. To tell me the average guy who plays the game, which I stopped playing the game. I honestly play it casually now. For you to tell me that a $28 billion company is doing nothing in its power to try to make the game enticing to play, adding skins, you know, making the game, you know, just more appealing to you. There's a psychological thing that I've searched up before. What's the most addicting percentage for people to play games? I think it's 50-50, right? When you tell someone that a game is 50-50, in their head, there's the risk of losing, and then there's the gain of winning. The psychological thing is what's happening in your brain, and I'm not a psychology major, but I've searched this up. I've seen something say like 50-50 is kind of addicting because there's obviously a good chance you'll win, good chance you'll lose. And sometimes people like that, right? People don't like to just overwhelmingly win, and people don't like to overwhelmingly lose. So the closer you get to the middle, the better that kind of is. So, I mean, it's saying it's not the most addicting here. The most addicting reward rate in gaming is not a fixed percentage. It's a variable ratio, meaning unpredictable odds. This is the same system used in loot drops. For games like League of Legends, what would be considered the most fun odds? What the hell? I'm not typing? For a game like League of Legends, what odds would be the best for engagement for players? I'd say it's 50-50. Sweet spot is 50-50. For a game like the most engaging aren't a fixed like 50-50. Strongest player retention comes from variable ratio reward systems, especially 5 to 25% perceived success chance. I feel like it doesn't understand what I'm saying here. It's talking about loot drops. There's no loot drops. Yeah, I think it just doesn't understand what I'm trying to say here. The thing is, the game is very coin flippy. Have a planned experience with varying intensity. Put a long-term monetary value on each match for each player. Match into matches that maximize the value over time. Keep the most amount of players in our game having fun. Skill gap. Hard to say what fun is, but we know what it isn't. Churn. Build advanced predictive models of churn. Use them. So they're using things that are going to predict who's going to win a match and lose. And these things, they change depending on whether this is happening before or after. Now, do I think what does it mean, like rating go up on wins? So Dantes has a video talking to Tyler 1 and these guys, Dantes, Tyler 1, Users Q, Hamza. Let me see, this video. So in this video, Dantes explains, like, if you lose a certain amount of matches, pretty much the summarization is, if you lose a certain amount of matches, your LP gains start to drop, right? That happens to everybody, right? Who it doesn't happen to is the really good players that they barely lose, right? And essentially what he's saying is you're losing more LP than you're gaining. So you're already in a bad position to climb. The system is essentially trying to make you not climb. So how is this fun? What they should have done if they wanted to quote unquote make it fun is that it would have been at least even, right? If you're losing 33 and gaining 28, that means if you lose a game and you win a game, you still haven't won back your loss. It means you need 2 games to equal one. Like, one loss is okay. So you would have to be on a 2-to-1. And that's hard because if you lose like 5 in a row, you pretty much have to now double whatever you just lost. Right? You would have to double in wins what you just lost. You lost 5 times, you have to win 10 games to now equal those 5. Which is fucking crazy when you think about it, right? So the fact that, you know, you'll hear these guys say like, oh, we're trying to do what's most fun and all these things, it's kind of bullshit because they want it to be challenging. Here he has some math, how they're doing it. So given, let me see if I can increase the quality real quick. Maximize quality.
These skills off different games. And the method I use,
given a game result and the current given, decide a way to get in 50. Team skill update. Obtain this. The following steps. Calculate. So this is essentially like their formula, or his formula for how to do this, essentially. Given a game result and the current, given this, decide a way to get in 50. For team skill update, obtain pi, yada yada, the following steps, calculate individual. I'm surprised no one has taken this stuff. Tried to figure it out. So, 1 million players show up one day, yada yada, I want to play. I think having a game easy, even, and hard, I think the problem with this is that if you're lying about it, then that's my biggest problem about it. Because when you say a game is easy, even, or hard, what you're saying is it's less likely to win. That's like the basic understanding of it. This is the guy who created the skill and matchmaking system. He's telling you, have a planned experience. How is a planned experience random? They're trying to have a controlled experiment in every game. So I need someone who's smart and can simply explain to me, from Riot, whoever, if you are planning or creating an experience that's supposed to be quote-unquote random, why is the varying intensity easy, even, or hard? The likelihood of something being even is very unlikely, right? Because it's random. The chances that you have two teams, they're both equal in skill, is very unlikely, right? That would probably be one of the most rarest occurrences. The chances between a game either being really hard or really easy should be like more likely to happen. But to have a stale even on all skill fronts, that's very unlikely. And that if you just play the game, you'll notice it's very unlikely you see two teams very even. Right? So this tells me, I'm skeptical. I would simply just ask them, hey guys, if this is supposed to be random, why is the guy who created your system saying I want to have a planned experience with varying intensity, not random? There's nothing random about this, right? I'm not even trying to look for a pattern. I'm just looking at the words he said. This is a guy who planned out this, this TED Talk, right? And he's explaining how League works. So how do you explain that in a simple way and say like, oh yeah, it is random. It's random between easy, even, and hard. But that's not random then, right? Because you're controlling random. Like if you're saying you have 3 outcomes, I'm either going to give you an easy game, an even game, or a hard game. It's only random on which you would get. But in the grand scheme of things, that's not random. You have 3 outcomes. You can predict 1 out of 3 times which it's going to be. Easy, even, or hard then. Right? You're going to be in that list. Easy, even, and hard. Right? Now, how do you determine easy, even, and hard? Even is easy, right? That's simple to explain. All 10 players are of exact same skill. They're all 5s. They're all whatever number. Easy, it's probably like 5 6s versus like one, and then the other 4 are like maybe 3s, and then one guy's like a 10. Right? Like that's probably an easy game for the team that's mostly even, because they'll just beat their numbers going downwards. Like the same thing, right? Like this match, I would say, is harder for this guy who's challenger because he has to beat 5 5s. Right? Now let's say it's like this. Right? If it's like this is still very hard. Right? it's they both equal the same value. You don't have to look at the value. They both equal the exact same value, right? It's 25 versus 25. The difference is that these two 10s, which is probably like a top laner and a jungler, they're gonna giga shit on their top laner and their jungler. These guys, they AFK, they give up, right? The ones, it's 50-50 who's gonna win. This one, it's like 50-50 who's gonna win potentially. And this 21, it's obvious that the 21 is most likely to win. Unless the 21 just drops in rating. Right? So if you ask me who's more likely to win based off of their system, right? Because it's trying to predict, test if it predicts match outcomes correctly. They're trying to get to a 65, 75, or 88%, etc. They're trying to predict whether or not this game right here is going to be in whose favor. I would say it's more likely that this team right here is more likely to win. Now, let's say you spread it out more even. Let's say it's 5, 6, right? And you say now it's a 5 and a 6. These three will guarantee they're winning their lane. Now, if let's say I spread it out even more. Now I say this is a 3 and this is a 2. Right? I think that still equals up the same. 5, 10. No, 1. Okay. Right? So now we know 4 lanes are guaranteed to win. No matter how good at support you are, you're going to have to giga carry these 4 other players as support. Now let's say this is top lane. If this is top lane, as top lane, you will have to now giga carry your lane. It's possible. Again, this is not guaranteed, right? He's not saying that I'm predicting match outcomes 100% of the time, right? But the fact that he's able to predict what's going to happen in oh god, my headphones disconnected. The fact that he's able to predict who's gonna win on a pretty reasonable basis tells me that it's a little bit less random than you would think it is, right? So those are my big problems that I have. Better players dominate the playtest, nerf or remove it, since dominate, yada yada, parties, can't let you play. Friends, depends on game. We know how good players are, what should we tell them? Depends on the game, progression, hybrid, or skill, take inspiration. Levels, unlocks, ranks, hybrid systems. Just looking to see at everything. Current ability, placement, matchmake. Good player. Raw skill for ranking. Bad player. So they're a -1. Average player 0. And then number of games played.
Kind of inflationary hybrid system. This is a system when everybody kind of goes up over time. There is a skill component. And what you really want is the better player.
Yeah, I mean, this has been proven that there's inflation in League of Legends. This is like one of the most obvious things. I've seen players that are in Diamond, they eventually go into Masters because the thing is, if your MMR is just resetting back to 0, all the work that you did to get into Diamond, if you're already in Diamond, if the game just leaves you in Diamond, or if it leaves you like slightly below, eventually you're just gonna get slightly pushed into it. So some players aren't like a real master player or real diamond. They just got pushed into it with inflation. Maybe they are that skill level if they start like a brand new account, but there is definitely inflation. And also, one thing I like to mention, ranks at the end of a season versus at the beginning of the season. Can you guys tell which is easier and which is harder? Is it harder to get Challenger in the beginning of the season or at the end of the season? It would be easier at the end of the season because less people are playing, right? And less people are trying to compete with you now. Now you're playing with the bottom of the barrel. You're playing with the bad players, right? So when you see players like, and I'm not even trying to throw shade at like Tyler 1 or anything, right? But when you see players like Tyler 1, they hit Challenger. And I know if he saw this, he'd be like, I'm retarded. But it's like, when you see players like Tyler 1, they hit Challenger after like a lot of games, you gotta understand, you gotta think about it. He's hitting it after like all the good players that were better than him, like all the better players than him. He's getting there when all the players that are good have already passed him. So now he's just playing with like bottom of the barrel or middle of the barrel players. So they all suck. And it's not even to say that he's bad. He's good because he can make it to Challenger, right? But now the real challenge for Tyler, a player like Tyler 1, let's say you are Tyler 1. His real challenge would be to hit rank 1. If he could hit rank 1, and then let's say next season he plays again, and he still struggles to get rank 1, it would tell me that he's not at a level of efficiency of destroying games. Like these people who just rush to rank 1 really fast. This is a guy, he's a no-lifer. You know, I get it, you know, Tyler 1, he has children. I'm not attacking Tyler. I love Tyler 1. I think Tyler 1 is very entertaining. I think he's really good at League of Legends. Right? But I think a player like Tyler 1 is like, he's like the perfect example of what a player that's going up looks like. He's benefiting from the fact that all the garbage players. Now, if he just plays ADC and he like starts you know, the season and he just starts climbing and he just starts shitting on people. Again, I understand he has the streamer thing happening, so it's like if he's a streamer, he's gonna get stream sniped. That is true. I agree with that 100%. If he were to start a fresh account like Bauf's and just start to climb, I could see it 100%. I can't tell how good Tyler 1 is on like a fresh account and just like, you know, not streaming it. He could probably be maybe like higher echelons of like Challenger, right? But the problem is, again, he's streaming it, he's getting stream sniped, he needs all these games. So there's a lot of factors. I could take in all the variables and I could tell you it's very hard for a player like Tyler 1 to climb streaming than versus not streaming. It's just that simple. But yeah, there's definitely inflation. You hear players like Tyler 1 say it all the time. Dantas says it all the time. You just see players that like over time, as the season continues, it just gets easier for them to like get into these elos. Like for me, I peaked Emerald 1 in the beginning of the season. This is like, I was like 35 LP. And the second we start getting into like the more sweaty people, it just so hard to climb for me. So fucking hard to climb. As the season progresses, it starts to get easier for me to climb again. Because there's nobody playing. There's nobody serious about climbing.
And because of that, good, bad, and average near the top are the...
If you are going skill, go all the way. Players who like skill will thank you. Players that don't care anyways, they'll ignore it. I would have to listen to all of this. Skill rating. Yeah, so this is like iron, bronze, silver, gold. This is platinum, emerald. So at this end right here, this is like your diamonds, masters, grandmasters, and challengers. I'm surprised he didn't give anything like, if you improve your skill, then you'll climb, stuff like that. But, I mean, maybe he does say it. Skills improve, rank increases. I mean, okay, yeah, he says it right here. I did add, like, vision, and then that's when I felt like I was climbing the most. But even with all that, I dropped. Like, I just started dropping very, very rapidly. And then I just decided to start playing new champions because I was like, fuck this shit. But yeah, all I would say is the fact that skill system, any method to measure player ability, ideally predictive. Why? Matchmaking, ranking, understanding players, understanding game skill depth. If you're telling me you're trying to predict the outcome of a match, like, I would say I'm a little bit, like, skeptical of how they're doing this. But going to this video, it's a very long video.
How's it going, guys?
I won't be able to spend forever on this video.
Nice to talk to you guys and meet you finally, like, in official capacity.
Yeah.
I would like to say I don't think ASAP signed anything, but from some of the comments, I see some people, they're saying like, yo, he's kind of asking them like safe questions. But like, even the safe questions, like he asked them in the beginning, well, I'll explain more why I have a problem with some of these like answers that they give. Like, mind you, these two guys, they haven't made the system. This isn't Josh Menke. This isn't like the creator of skill and matchmaking. These guys are like the faces of like matchmaking potentially. They probably don't do anything besides talking.
I do believe I've met Matt.
Like, do these guys code?
When I was in Riot HQ, Brian Search was giving me
like, I could search it up real quick. Let me see. Like, who? Riot Frogs on. I don't know how you pronounce it. What does he do? Look at this part. I'm trying to see if I can. Fuck it.
Yo, give me better game. The lead time on.
I was arguing about the semantics.
That's lucky.
Yeah.
Well, nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, Matt came up to me and he said like something about losers queue. Yeah.
Matt. So I assume one of them decided to have this conversation again. I think with the last conversation they had, if let's say this is not true, what is the point of this conversation? Why ASAP? And I think it looks bad on a company when they choose the guy that agrees that they're not doing anything wrong. Does that make sense? It's safer, right? Like, if they choose Dantes, then I think that really shows how confident they are. But they chose ASAP. And for me, like, again, I know, I understand some. Let me drink some water. Jesus Christ. I understand that from a company, you gotta understand this shit from like a company basis, right? Like from their standpoint. They want to make money. They want to look good. No company wants to look bad, right? This is a multi-billion-dollar company. They don't want to look bad. Any publicity that's bad could mess them up, even though they're super rich. So what I would say is them picking ASAP over like Dantes for this interview, it looks really bad on them. I would have not done this interview to begin with. It looks really bad. The fact that you chose ASAP over Dantes, Dantes is the one that's gonna go against them the hardest. He's gonna ask really hard questions potentially, right? Unless they think Dantes is an idiot, right? But with ASAP, they're thinking maybe potentially I could, you know, lead this guy down a road and it's not going to be that bad, right? They might have discussed with him. They might have given him some money, right? Some people are going to be like, yo, but you're like looking so deep into this. You got to understand, with a $1 billion company, you don't play with money. These are the same guys who sell you $250 skins. They sell you $500 worth of skins every freaking like few months. Brand new skin comes out, $200. Look at this. Oh my goodness, so pretty. The coolers. Look at the skin, so pretty. Give me your money, $200. Like, they don't need $200. They don't. They're rich. Why do the rich? Like, just ask yourself this one question. I get so passionate about this. Because to me, it's like, yo, you got to think about it. This is the greedy being greedier. They're so rich. Both of these guys make like double, triple the normal person's salary. Like, these guys, they make so much money. They have everything to gain by doing this. Promotions. They look like the face of the company. They might, like, promoting it. Everything. It just looks good on their... like, let's say League of Legends dies tomorrow. Both of these guys, they can find another place. Like that! Because they're the face. You instantly, you think of these guys, it's building your resume. Again, these guys, they love what they do, right? But there's a line that comes with it. Every company lies. Everyone's gonna tell you, oh, McDonald's is healthy. You think the CEO is gonna tell you McDonald's is not healthy? Come on, man. Stop being a sheep. It's the people being sheep that annoys me, bruh. Be skeptical. Dude, I'll never forget just basic stuff I learned when I was a kid. The magic school bus. Get messy, make mistakes, you know, have fun. Now it's fucking win. I gotta win. No losing. Screw losing. I gotta win. Winner. However, it doesn't matter. I win. Right? And again, these guys if they were to talk to me, obviously they wouldn't like me. I'm going to ask them hard questions. I'm going to ask them, hey, look, if this is random, right? Tell me, what is the percentage of every game? Is it like 50-50? Like, are you guys trying to get everybody's win rate to 50-50? If that's the case, then how is that like random? Wouldn't random be like one guy's 20, one guy's 30, one guy's 40, one guy's 50, right? Like, things like that is what I would ask them. And they would struggle because they're not the creator. Again, you're like asking the assistant chef what the fuck the head chef put into the soup. You might have an idea, but you don't know the secret ingredients. You don't know none of the little pizzazz that he's putting into it. You're the assistant. You're not the guy that's at the head. You're not the leader. You're not the head honcho. You're not the CEO. You're not the head captain. Like, and again, I'm not even trying to be mean. A lot of this stuff just comes down to they're trying to make money. If anyone argues that, I think like that's it. That's the end of the conversation. Anyone who tells me this company does not want money, I don't even want to talk to you. Because that's crazy. You're selling a skin, a cosmetic, 200. Oh, but you don't have to, you know, buy the skin. Motherfucker, I'm playing the game. The only thing they advertise is skins. All they advertise is skins. It's the main thing that pops up. They're advertising it to you. It pops up. When a brand new season comes out, they show all the new skins, all the pretty skins. Oh, yes, yes. No, we don't want you to buy new skin. Yes, yes. Here, smell the new skin color. Yes, new skin color. Yes. Yes. And, dude, it pisses me off because people who listen to me, who are against me, would probably be like, bro, you're crazy, you're on crack, you're on this, you're on that, you're on... But, like, no one's listening to what I'm saying. This is what I mean. It's funny, too, because in the same conversation, ASAP and Dantes, ASAP says that the government is corrupt, the government's doing a lot of shady stuff in the background, no one knows. The second you start to be skeptical, the second you start to question people, you're the crazy guy. You're not allowed to ask questions at all. And that's crazy. That's crazy. You're pretty much, yo, if you have a son, don't ask questions, bro. Just shut up, stay in the corner, and accept whatever they tell you in school. Don't try to think outside the box. Think only in the box. And then you're telling me to relax? Don't tell me to relax. That's crazy. That's insane to me. I don't understand how people think this way. I can't. I really, dude, I've tried so hard to think the way these people think. I can't even get into the video because I already know what they're going to do. They're going to try to waterboard you into like, nah, we don't do losers queue. It's unethical. That's immoral. We don't do anything to psychologically to get you addicted into the game. We only selling $200 skins because, you know, that's the market, you know, that's the demand, and like you don't have to buy it and stuff like they're just gonna fancy like, oh, here's, you know, hey ASAP, you know, here's 10,000. But like, dude, if they were to pick Dantes would have been just as freaking tilted as me. It's funny because crazy people are only crazy because they asking good questions. Why do you do things this way? You're crazy. That's it. That's the answer. That's the answer. You're crazy. It's stupid. Let's get into this. This is gonna be such a long stream, and I got a dentist appointment. When I come back, I'm just gonna watch this whole video, but I'm gonna have to make like 50 clips from this.
That's the first thing he said. And he leaned in and said like, "Hail Hydra, hail loser Q," something like that. I don't know.
This is starting to sound like a Dante's visit. Are you sure that Dante's visit with you?
No.
Like, even this little joke, like, it feels like he's scared. I don't know. I feel like, dude, I'd be scared to talk to someone like Dantes if I'm in their shoes. Dantes is gonna ask you a question like, why won't you guys just show what matchmaking queue code looks like? And like they're not. Even, dude, you know what's funny? A lot of these things have patents. So they can't like... And a lot of these things, it's like, even if someone wanted to copy it, they can't copy the characters, right? So if somebody wanted to copy their formula to, like, do matchmaking, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It wouldn't kill their company. Like, this is, think about it. Think about how greedy you need to be, right? They could easily just be like, here's the source code, here's what the code looks like for matchmaking and all these things. They could easily do that. If a company were to take it from them, they could probably sue. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They'd probably win. If it's like, if they have patents on it or whatever, right? But it's like, even if someone stole your like matchmaking algorithm, like your code, like it's not like your game is gonna be as popular, right? Like, this is how greedy companies are. They're so scared of another company coming in and like taking their code and like, oh, it's gonna be another Pal World. The problem with companies like Pokemon is that they don't pay attention to what the people are saying. We want voice acting. We just want more detail added. Like, yo, the area looks like it's worse than Zelda Ocarina of Time. Like, it looks like I'm playing Zelda Ocarina. They don't want real criticism. Any real criticism, these big companies, they throw it away. Too expensive. Guys are worth billions of dollars, and it's something like that is too expensive. Yeah, if you get Jimmy from his basement, he's gonna do that shit for $100. You see it all the time. Every company, they do it. When the Superman movie came out with Henry Cavill or Calvin Henry, whatever his name is, right? They edited out his beard. And then a guy in his basement, $100, whatever, freaking photoshopped off his beard for less, and it looked better. A lot of these companies are greedy. They don't know all the answers. You don't have the answers, Sway.
No,
I watched that entire hour.
Oh, you watched that? That's crazy.
Can you call it a debate with
Nah,
the way that it went?
I was arguing about.
I can't tell here if he's kind of like being like, you know, a bully, trying to like bully Dantes, like trying to talk down Dantes. Again, I just find it strange they didn't just talk to Dantes.
The semantics with my very viewers later on after that, because I didn't want to call the debate. I thought it was just nothing.
You guys are a billion-dollar corporation. I wouldn't be surprised that you guys are selling baby organs. Like, dude, you'd be surprised what these big organizations do in the in the underground just to like keep things afloat. You'd be surprised.
But that conversation.
Yeah.
You would, dude. Has anyone watched Breaking Bad? I just finished watching Breaking Bad. I know. It's 10 years since Breaking Bad came out. Whatever, dude. I just finished Breaking Bad. You would never think a laundromat has a meth lab underneath it. It's true! Who would think that? Who? I wouldn't think that! Who the fuck would have thought about that? In a billion years, I would have never said that. Like, Hank was cooking every episode. That guy was like, everyone thought Hank was crazy. All Hank asked was questions. All he said was, wouldn't it, like, bro, look at this air ventilation system. Look at all the companies that have that air ventilation system. It's perfect for cooking meth. Look at this laundromat. Only one of its kind. What kind of fumes are you using? Clorox? That's not that bad. Like, right, like he's asking like questions that like everybody's like, nah, you're crazy. You sound crazy. Everyone was calling Hank crazy. And he was cooking the entire time. You would never think, like, dude, it's crazy because, yes, it's a TV show. It's not real. It didn't happen. None of that happened. But you'd be surprised how creative the human mind can be. It can think of a near infinite amount of things that could happen. But you're crazy if you think any of that could. I'm not even saying like Spaghetti Monster exists. I'm not saying like, you know, like I'm not even saying anything that's, in my opinion, that's that controversial. I'm just saying, doesn't it make sense that a billion-dollar corporation would like do things in a way where it's like it's addicting, Loser's Q is addicting. They would make the game addicting so that they could have people keep coming back. Like, things of that nature. I feel like that just makes sense. Right? Like, and then you have people like Asap that will probably be like, no, not addicting, not addicting game, right? Like, shit like that, I'm like, yo, what kind of person are you to just, like, you're just that, like, you're not worried about anything. Like, you're not skeptical of shit. Like, there's a reason why a guy made the word skeptical. Skeptical. My definition of skeptical. Someone who questions things that could seem possible or not possible. Let me see. I've never searched up this definition before. Maybe. Let me see. What is it gonna say? Not easily convinced, having doubts or reservations. The public were deeply skeptical about some proposal. Okay, questioning. Whatever. I was completely wrong. Whatever. But I would still say, like, my interpretation is not that bad. Like, just you're very unsure of something that could be true potentially, or possible, or a proposal in this case. You know.
Because I don't know. I think that the debate implies like a lot of different things, and that like the positions are immovable in debate. Like you're not open to changing your mind. You're just trying to prove.
I disagree with that. Like a debate, like then that would mean debates are pointless then. Which I do agree, debates are pretty pointless. Like the meaning of a debate is like you have a position, I have a position, and we're discussing positions to see whose position is more reasonable or more possible. A formal discussion on a particular topic in a public meeting or legislative assembly in which opposing arguments are put forward. So yeah, it was a debate then. What they had was a debate.
To somebody else, your point. Right? Yeah. Conversation is more like, okay.
I don't even like the smiling that they're doing because it's like, yo, I can't tell what these guys are thinking, and I'm like in my head, what is the point of this, like, this discussion?
Okay, like if you give me something good, like I'll take
I'm
it.
1 minute in this video. It's gonna take me 4 hours to get through this video.
Yeah.
But
Any argument.
What are you saying?
Hey, like if you give me something good, then like I'll take it in.
Yeah.
But
Any argument.
I didn't hear what he said.
I can't.
I had captions.
Any argument.
I can't believe you watched that thing.
I try to understand what's going on. Also, I hear that you make good videos that
I tried to understand what's going on. Because of why? Did someone tell you to watch that video so that, like, this, like, you have to think. They don't have to come to ASAP, right? And I don't think they would listen if ASAP came to them. Someone has to tell them, hey, look, we're having negative publicity. One of the biggest League of Legends content creators, Dantes, made a video, and it's affecting our, you know, our viewership, whatever, right? And you cannot tell me simply that no company cares about how they are seen in the public eye. Someone like Dantes, right? Someone like Dantes, how many, okay. This guy has 700,000 subscribers. He's averaging 100,000 views per video. He got 600,000 in some of them, right? This is a guy who's probably affecting how people look at the game. It's very hard to argue against that. Right? It would be very difficult to argue that Dantes doesn't affect how, at least, right? Like, let's say you think there's 1 million people playing League. So that means he, like, let me see how many people play League on a, how many people play League in a month. Different accounts. I don't think they would have this information. That's very okay. I mean, it says here 120 to 135 million monthly active players. Daily activity is 30 to 40 million. So if Dantes gets 100,000, that's like a 1,000th of what they're like pulling in, right? It's like 1/3 of a 1,000th, if I'm correct, right? So this is a guy who barely affects anything. So I would have to think either their numbers are lying or something. It's bots or whatever. Like, we don't know how many accounts are really active. But for them to do this, I just see no point.
That tell us about what we should be doing. So I wanted to see if there was anything that we could, cut down the lead time on.
I can't believe you watched that thing.
I try to understand what's going on. Also, I hear that you make good videos that tell us about what we should be doing. So I wanted to see if there was...
I hear that you make good videos about what we should be doing. I mean, I could tell you what good ideas I would have. Honestly. Why don't you guys take the honor system that you guys have in the game, right? And use it to put players together that are actually like honorable versus putting like toxic players together. Then only toxic players would be playing with other toxic players. Because if you do that, yes, it would make the queue times longer. But I think you guys should do a poll. And the poll says, would you guys be okay with longer queue times if you were more likely like to win those matches? Or would you guys be more likely with longer queue times if you were to play with less toxic players? Those two questions alone, probably a lot of people would say yes. And again, you can have like a threshold if it's like over 500,000 people or over 1 million people say yes, like I would want to play with less toxic players. But then it just comes down to like, what is a toxic player, right? Like then you would have another poll. What do you consider toxic? Should these things be implemented in a way so like it punishes toxic players? Should toxic players lose more LP than a non-toxic player? Because then people should, like, it's so easy for them to just code in the system. If this guy, like, I could spend an hour just writing like ass, butt, face, jerk, what, like, if someone just tries to be mean, it could be something small like you're a jerk, whatever, yada yada. Make that guy lose more LP. Because then it just removes banter. Only focus on trying to win. That's the only thing you guys should be focusing on. You guys make people sign every season. Hey, this is what we want you guys to do. Be nice, be, whatever, yada yada, all this stuff, right? So that we can make the game a better place. You guys aren't simply just like, I could easily attack the root of the problem. If I was the CEO, if I was the guy head in charge, I'd simply just be like, why aren't you guys making it easier for nice players to play with other nice players and ratting out the bad players? Bad players should play with bad players in terms of toxicness. Like, at a toxic level, it would be good for the game. Like, this person is this toxic. This person says this and this. Right? Like, you could even have the player have screenshots in the game so that they can just give it to you guys. So you don't even have to look for it. It's just boom, you see it. Like, there's so much you could have. Freaking just adding Windows button, Control S, screenshot, boom. Right? And it doesn't take away. It saves. And then after the game, would you like to post this screenshot and report this player? Boom, do it. Right there, boom. A lot of these things, it's like there's many obvious things they could do. They're not going to do it. Multi-billion-dollar company, they're not going to do it. I'm going to end the stream. I got to go. I got something to do. Very important. I'll catch you guys later. Deuces, goodbye.